Man, Shinto is thirsty. Look at that dude.
Warning: the following video may contain spoilers for future sets in Shadowverse Evolve English, so if you do not want to be spoiled, please do not watch this video. Alright, people. So, welcome to my first podcast. Welcome to Shintoverse. I hope you guys are doing okay. And today I have actually two other senpais with me. Firstly, we have Rhythmz senpai.
Hi everyone.
And also we got. Sorry, you got something to say?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Rhythmz. I usually hang out in the Discord server, the SVE Discord server, and I play alongside Shinto in many of the Singapore shops. Yeah.
Alright, and then for the second guest we have Muroqis.
Hello, I am also a Singapore player that mainly plays the Japanese format. I am a Nightmare main, or in English we call it Abyss main. Yes.
Yes, the English. So today we are gonna go on the topic of what are the future for Shadowverse Evolve for the upcoming sets. Because the meta is gonna be very similar to Japanese once Uma is going past, and then the question will be that will the official Shadowverse Evolve do anything for the restriction list to change up the meta? And some of the sets where there's overwhelming there's when there's a class that's overwhelming, there might be a restriction. So today we are here to discuss that. And before we start, right, these two other senpais are not random people. I asked them to join. For a bit of background, Rhythmz, if you guys have talked to him in the Shadowverse Evolve Discord, he is one of the starter for Dirt Rune, right?
Yeah. I started out playing Dirt Rune in set 1 and set 2 before it got progressively less supported. Yeah.
Until today, today now we got set 9.
Yes. Until set 9, yes. So
Yes.
I picked it up again.
And then Muroqis is also another very strong player in Singapore. Every time he make very weird deck that works somehow. Yeah, so Muroqis, you mainly play Abyss, right?
Okay, to give a small background, I started in set 3 because I wanted to start in set 1, but I couldn't find the community for it, so I didn't start. But during set 3, I started out with a basic Nightmare deck. The main starter from what is it called? SD05. Is it SD05? Let me check. Yes, okay, SD05. And I built the deck to go into set 3 meta with Masquerade Ghost, and I played Masquerade Ghost for the whole of set 3 before going to Egg Haven in set 4 all the way until the end of set 6, where I went back to Nightmare again with Control
Omen of
Abyss.
Silence, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I still remember the days when you first joined. And I think you went to Egg Haven because you put at least you are, isn't it?
Yes, I
Yeah.
got into Egg Haven because a friend of mine went with me to one of the shops in the central area, and he enticed me into buying a set 3 box, and there I put Alice UR with I think 2 base Alice in the same box. So I built the whole deck from there.
Which was the right move, because we know egg was meta for a very long time. Yeah, so these two senpais, right? Usually I goes to them, even though they made Abyss, they made Rune. They actually are very knowledgeable about the games. In fact, a lot of my articles, right, actually bounce with them all my ideas to make sure that everything I write is correct. And they are very reliable, to be honest. I think I would say Rhythmz follow the game more than I do. Yeah, so let's start off with the one we know, the restriction. So Uma's restriction, I would say that wasn't a surprise. I think we all were expecting this, right, for Ian.
What was the surprise? What was the restriction again? I remember one of them was like the maintenance one.
Yeah.
The
Other than Shenlong's restrictions towards the end of set two, right? No, not series set two. Towards
I think it's
Uma.
end
Yeah.
of set 3 for JP.
Mm.
I think it was towards Uma for set for the English, and they restricted inspection start. And what's the other kind? Invictus, I think it's Invictus, right?
Equinodictus.
Yeah, Includictus, yes, that's yeah. So they limited both of them to one because they allowed you to search for cards from the top deck quite often, and it's more consistent to get like Daiwa Vodka off the Uma decks, which makes the deck that was originally ran in Japanese very, very strong. So much that Uma had only 2 decks at that point of time. Yeah, Uma set yeah.
During the Uma set, there's only Dragon
Dragon
and
Uma,
Uma.
yeah.
Because it's either Uma building board too fast for and the other decks couldn't keep up, or Dragon outvaluing Uma.
Yeah, I think Dragon was also the only class that can deal with Daiwa Vodka with their configuration. Yeah.
Yeah, because when we look at all the other class, right, there wasn't any other class that can deal with bot and then raise Uma, because everybody knows Uma also have a 5 centimeter ahead that spell card that it's not C in EN but it's C in JP, because that card was very strong. Not only you destroy opponent board, you discard 3 cards from their hand, which is actually very painful. But this wasn't C in EN because Uma just got the restriction, and in fact, I think everybody else just go Storm for Uma at the moment.
Yeah, I think
Pretty sure it's called 7 centimeters ahead. Not
Oh, sorry,
5
sorry.
Yeah, and for my experience playing in the Uma meta when we were fighting for the Worlds, I realized that because of the restrictions in Uma, right, a lot of other decks got to shine, especially like Abysscraft, the aggro Abysscraft. Elf got to shine a lot more because of the addition to Silent Suzuka and overall finishes in Silverboat and such. So it kind of shake out the meta that 7 cm ahead didn't play out as well, because all your games are ending much earlier than where your Uma decks don't have the opportunity to get 20 cards in the graveyard.
Yeah. So I have some data on the screen right now. So if you look at this, for Japan, JP, right, the Uma percentage was 38.9%. So representation for all the 1,445 participants for Osaka. And then next also this is Nagoya. So Nagoya, there's also a 42%. So from judging this as a base, if we are going to use something as a base, this will most likely be the base to determine how likely Shadowverse English are going to restrict cards, because these are the 2 data that is going to be that we have on our hand to show lah. And then so the first one we want to talk about would be the very close Kuon, I think. Kuon would be the most straightforward that people will be asking, like, oh, will Kuon be nerfed? Actually, I keep thinking Kuon wouldn't be restricted, because I keep forgetting it was already restricted. It was restricted in
the form of Curse Crafter.
Yeah, Curse Crafter. Curse
The
Crafter.
main deck.
Because Curse Crafter didn't have the Shikigami inside, so I keep thinking that it was a different card. But no, Curse Crafter
do have the Shikigami.
Oh, you do.
He summons a Shikigami, yes.
No, as in didn't have it in his name. Yeah.
Basically, if for the people who don't know what Curse Crafter is, on Fanfare, he will summon a paper Shikigami. And what the paper Shikigami's ability is that on last words, it's going to draw you a card and you can discard a card from your hand. Okay, it is 2/2 token that a lot of the set 6 card set 6 rune cards can spawn. Yeah, he has an activated ability to put a Shikigami follower. Okay, why Shikigami? Because there's another Shikigami follower which is named as Celestial Shikigami, which is summoned by Kwon himself. Okay, so what this activated ability do is that it's going to put a Shikigami follower from your field into the graveyard to choose a follower from the enemy field to do 4 damage to it. And you cannot use this ability. You can only use this ability once per turn. On evolve, it's going to do 2 damage to a follower on your enemy field, or 4 if you have 7 or more Omnioji card or spells in your graveyard. Okay.
So why is this
Why
good?
this is very strong? Because first of all, okay, we should talk about the stats first, which is it's a 4 PP, 2/2 that evolves for 1 and it gains +1/+1 in stats after evolve. Okay. Firstly, it will spawn a Shikigami, a paper Shikigami, which is firstly going to cycle. Okay, we'll go back to this cycling part again. But okay, we'll talk about how Curse Crafter on turn 4 can deal with potentially 3 cards on the field. Firstly, it's going to move a Shikigami follower from your field to the graveyard to do 4 damage. In the meta, mostly you would normally have a 3 PP that evolve for 1 that becomes a 4/4. What this will do is it will basically go net even with a lot of the 3 PP cards that evolve for 1 if you're going first. Because most of them only have 4 health. And that means you can take out one of them. And furthermore, when the paper Shikigami leaves the field, it will draw you 1 and discard you 1, increasing the spell chain count in your graveyard. Secondly, on evolve, it will deal either 2 damage or 4 damage depending on how many Omnioji cards or spells and spells in your graveyard. And that can take care of any small 2 health units on your opponent's field. Thirdly, it's a 3/3 that can ram into something else. Most of the time when you see this card, it's a kill on side card. Yeah. It's really good because it fulfills a lot of things. Firstly is board control. Secondly is board presence. And thirdly is cycling, which is very important in Kuon.
Yeah, so this card is basically a super anti-tempo card. Against aggro, you get to remove 3 cards. It's also very strong. So this is why this card got restricted. But we got our restriction in BPO7, is
So
it?
it's not
Uh,
BPO7,
it was
it's at the
in
end of
Collect Set 2.
TPO2.
Yeah, Collect Set 2, which is
TPO2, which
the
is the
Idol Master.
Idol Master
Yes.
collab set.
Yeah. So to put in more context, right? Kuon decks actually, for those who are not familiar with the JP meta, Kuon decks play very similar to Dimension Shift decks. Okay, so you do what you do is you build up your graveyard for spells, and you for Kuon himself, he's your finisher card. So what he does is he will summon he's discounted by every Omnioji card and spell card in your graveyard. So you can essentially play him for 0 when you reach the spell count. And he summons a Celestial Shikigami, which is a 4/5 aura Shikigami. And Kwon himself can activate and rest. Can act this card. Yeah, it says that act this card, and you can give your Shikigami Storm. So at 0 PP, you have a 4/5 Storm, and if you are able to summon another paper Shikigami on the field, you can essentially have a 6 Storm on any turn after you reach 15. So the whole deck, including Curse Crafter, helps you to fulfill this criteria by either number 1, being able to draw 1 and discard 1 from the paper Shikigami, or if any of the Omyuji card dies, it fulfills your 15 count for your Kuon. And Curse Crafter itself, I want to add another point that I think Muroqis has mentioned. A lot of 4/4s are in the game, and at this point, Floral Fencer is still being played in the meta, right? So
Yep.
if you think about it, right, Curse Crafter essentially removes two out of 3 cards when your opponent plays that Floral Fencer.
Yes.
And Sword is still quite a big threat during tonight. Even Shito went top 8 with a Sword craft deck during that period of time when we had CS in Singapore. So
Yeah,
like
because-
Curse Crafter, imagine having 3 copies of this, and you can essentially clear either a 10 HP, 10 health follower, or you can clear 4 health followers, or you can even clear 3 cards because after he evolves, he can attack in the game. And if you only have 1 of him, you have to choose your timing to use it. And if you have 3, you can use the first one to swing the tempo in your favor. And then your second and third one, essentially, you are going to reach 7 cards anyway, so you can even clear bigger boards with it. And during that time for IMAS, right, the premier deck that was running around, Shito, if you are able to pull up the Grand Prix for the set 6, are you able to find it?
Set 6 Grand Prix, is it this
Yeah.
one, right?
Yes.
No.
Osaka?
Set 6. No. Do you have the IMAS one?
IMAS
While
is...
Oshinto is able to find it, I will give you the context here. IMAS is running around with a aggressive mid-range sort of deck, which is the cool deck. And the cool deck focuses on pulling a lot of followers out from your deck to fill your field. And they are mostly like 2/2s, 3/3, 4/4s. So the Curse Crafter essentially clears all this mass summoning of like IMAS cards in cool deck. And after you play all these control, because you remember Dimension Shift still plays as a control deck. You have all your quick spells like Surefire Bullet, you have your Snipes, you have your what is that card? The Magic Boat? Is it the Witch Boat? Yeah, Witch Boat. So you have so many control cards. You essentially always will reach the point where you can just play your Kuon. And if you have 10 spells in your graveyard with 5 Omyojis, is you play down the Kuon card, you get your Celestial Shikigami, you storm for 4, and then you Dimension Shift, and you get an additional 9 damage on top of that. So you basically have a solid control plan, a solid card in Curse Crafter, and a very solid endgame plan, which, to be honest, from the point of view of like a game designer, Curse Crafter is going to be a card that you will see played every single room deck, even after Korn has phased out. Yeah, the restriction on the Curse Crafter, right, has caused it to even be played as one of any deck after this meta. Yeah, so that's the whole context that you will see if you are able to look into the then IMAS meta. Yeah.
I mean, I got the... So this is one of the runner-up for the IMAS meta. So if you can see, everything is less than 3 HP, 3 HP, 4 HP. All the important cards, all the aggro cards are actually about at most 4. So
even the 7 cost is 4 HP. Right?
Yeah. So the thing is that a lot of people have this misconception that spell chain rune, right, cannot be aggro. But the thing is, spell chain rune is the best answer for aggro. They have the most perfect card, fire chain, to counter aggro. The problem they cannot deal with was the bot. So the reason why Sword was good during set 2 was because they get a very big bot, and spell chain rune wasn't that fast enough back in BPO 2 lah. So
They don't have the tools enough to
remove the
past
bot.
what
Yeah.
Sword can do for against them.
And Curse Crafter just comes along and just turns that all around.
Like imagine you open Floral Fencer on 4 going first, you feel good about yourself, nothing bad is going to happen, and your opponent tell you, oh, I'm going to open Curse Crafter. He destroy the paper Shikigami to destroy your Floral Fencer. He evolves and destroy your Steel Cat Knight. Now you have a 1-1 staring at his 3-3.
Yeah, and Sword can't even be able to destroy that 3-3 because they lack the most of the cards in Swordcraft at that point of time didn't have the ability to destroy any standing cards.
The only
I
way
mean,
is
there are a few tags here and there, like I think Shito played this card that allows you to discard one card and deal 5 damage on evolve. But most set 6 card. Yeah, most Swordcraft players will go aggressive and try to, end the game as fast as possible.
the samurai lady.
Yeah, quick draw
Samurai,
Maven.
Quick
Yeah.
draw Maven.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the
The Curse Crafter, if left unchecked on the field, it deals another 4 on the next turn if they are able to summon another Shika.
yeah. So the question would be that, right? We played this meta. I know Singapore we didn't have that much Kuon players. We had more Sword, I think, at the time. Do you guys think that they would just outright hit the Curse Crafter straight up, like on before Sec 6 even get released, like Uma like that?
I think they might not, because if you go back to back during the Uma meta, right? Uma has a 42% somewhere there.
Yeah,
Somewhere
42. Yeah.
42% standing along with Dragon's 33%. But if you go back to the IMAS meta, you can see that
We don't see IMAS, we see the meta Kuon came out. This one is the meta
the
Kuon came out.
meta Kuon came out. The only other thing that can realistically beat it is Nightmare and Bishop. Bishop, because of Marwyn, they cannot effectively deal with Marwyn.
Yeah, all the aura cards that
All the aura cards that
Bishop has. Yeah.
yes, like they can really just tell you, okay, I open Marwyn, I skip a turn to evolve him, and there's nothing you can do about it.
That's
And the other one
Marwyn.
is Marwyn is set
Amatas,
5.
right?
Marwyn.
Marwyn
Set
set
5.
5.
Set 5. Yes,
Omen
the
of
Omen
Ripples.
of Ripples, the fat guy.
A big fat man.
Yes. Also Japan, they found that Amatas was a good answer to Kuon, right? At the end of BPO 6 also. Because of what's the guy? The
Amatas.
Amatas, yeah.
So for Singapore, we also experienced a similar thing during our CS. It's not at the end of the meta, but our CS
in the middle of the meta, because in Singapore I feel like there is more elf players than
I agree. I totally agree. I
rogue
wanted to
players.
bring up the point too. Yeah.
Which is why they can find this relatively faster than our Japan brothers.
I think it's also because Kuon and the rune class itself, right? It's actually very popular in Japan. I correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the impression I get because even for the online Shadowverse, right? I'm seeing that most
Rune is
people
a very
play-
popular deck. Very popular class.
So I would what I had in mind at that point of time was most of the Japanese are playing Kuon because they like Kuon, and you most probably will be thinking about how to fight Kuon versus Kuon, right? You won't really think about maybe I should bring another deck to counter Kuon, and so on. But towards the end of meta, it basically ended up with Amatas being the counter to Kuon.
The true like winner.
Yeah.
If you would like
Of course,
think about it.
Of course, the matchup between Kuon and Amatas is also not very skewed towards Amatas lah. Yeah, I mean the Storm Fairy variant.
It's mostly because Amatas can rival Kuon in terms of speed.
Yes.
Whether they can win game at that point of time right before Kuon reaches its end goal of summoning a bunch of guys and beating you with Dimension Shift.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, then I just got lucky because I built a defensive Ramia that goes white and then play Otohimes to block all the fairies.
More
That
damage.
yeah. So basically, I built the thing differently, and someone managed to get a win. Yeah.
It's a concept of don't build decks because they're meta. Build decks to counter the meta.
Yes, you just remember that you're not in Japan. Your local is not Japan, all right? So yes, people takes data from Japan, but you still have to do some studies, research, and then do some tuning to your own meta because even in Singapore, we know that Kuon won't be that many players because there's not
Yeah.
that many rune players in Singapore.
You don't really have to tag against who won.
Yeah,
Even in the latest set right now, you don't really see much dirt room because there's no room players other than
There,
me.
there is you and another two players that I know that resides in AGC.
Yeah. So it's Rune has always not been a threat over here. It's always the elf players, especially in the metas that they strive in.
Which is why they always complain when I have some one card wonder that came out, especially the newest one, which is Luzon, even though he's so shit. On the board, it's so shit. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. It really doesn't do anything. It's just a hand rip. Okay, please. It's just a guy.
We are going towards that tangent now, right? Isn't it?
Okay, so speaking about BPO9, right? Because I mean, since we are already there, BPO9 also got a very shocking data. This is a two deck stack, right? For this GP, right? This one of the recent GP. Which GP? I forgot which GP it's called. I'm not very good at name.
This is the two.
I think
This is the two deck format meta. Not meta lah. Two deck format.
Yeah, two decks format. The BO3 lah. Yeah.
It's BO3.
So this was the
Where it's
data on.
basically like you bring two decks into the format, and these two decks have to be of different classes. And if you look at the data on the screen, it is pretty clear which two decks people like to bring.
Yeah. Basically, the most shocking thing would be the number of dirt lah. I do not know if this is an accurate representation because this was taken off Twitter. Someone was posting this data from their site.
actually I can give more context to this. Firstly, the data is 100% correct because it came from the GP website that this was held at, and this GP that was held, right, is I'm still trying to find it, but it's actually only consists of those who have qualified for the GP itself. So basically, all those who have won CSs, right, the championship level, are invited to this event.
If
So-
I remember correctly, it's 128 people in this
Yes.
thing. Yeah, this GP. Is it GP or CS? I don't remember.
I don't remember the name. I'm still trying to find it. But because of that, right, and additionally, this is a two deck format. So everybody is minimally at a high level of play, and they all are striving to win because it's really the highest level of play you can have in Japan. And with that said, right, it's not an accurate representative of the full meta because firstly, it's a two deck format. You have to decide which decks counter which and which deck to complement your deck that you're bringing. Right, the two decks have to complement each other and cover each other's weakness. And honestly, if you look at the spread of the matchups in this entire set 9, Rune and Bats, right, they complement each other's weaknesses. Yeah, so Bats have a very bad matchup against Sword because Sword just outpaces you a lot. During the first 2 turns, you are basically setting up all your bets for your game plan.
Yes, it's either you're trying to heal out their aggressiveness, or you're trying to battle in terms of bot, because most of their little things are bigger than your bets, and
you don't have much way to deal with like a whiteboard as bets. And then on the other hand, Dirt has an amazing track record against Sword because of how you have wards, you have Caravan, which majorly swings the tempo. and then you have Riley also. All these cards basically helps you to out tempo sword and still deal chip damage to them over time, and they have a very solid turnaround turn on turn 5 with files, which refills your resources and can also swing the tempo. And you have solid finishers in Riley and Ancient Alchemist. Of course, Ancient Alchemist coming from set 2, which is I think most of the English players will know. I'm not going to go into much into the three cards that I mentioned because it's still quite far away. But for our JP players, yeah, that's basically how the matchup goes for this. If even in our CS in Singapore, when I was thinking through which decks to play, right, I felt that like third rune, honestly, is not the best deck to bring because of how they lose against a lot of other decks when you are not playing a two deck format. And that's hence the reason why I switched to bets for the CS. And yeah, you guys know what happened during the CS.
Yeah, we know, yeah. The champion of the CS, talking very humbly. I don't want to tell everybody that he's the champion.
Yeah.
It's okay. All of us are champions here. It's just
Yeah.
in different sets.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually true. In fact, I also got my champion also very recently also.
Yours is in set 8. Mine was in set 7. And Rhythmz one was in set 9.
Yep. Back to back champions we are. So okay, so for that, right? Given with this data and you explain the backstory, right? Do you think Dirt Rune needs to get nerfed for this set?
No.
No.
I can tell you no.
My answer will also be no because there are several reasons. I think you guys can go ahead first because I think I've given a few reasons.
Firstly, it's because the deck itself, yes, it's strong. It has a lot of tools. It has a lot of ways to deal with it. But the thing is, it's very, very straightforward. It's very streamlined. Like, oh, okay, turn 3, he's going second. Most probably will have a Curate one. Turn 4, probably another Curate one. Turn 5, okay, we open a Faust. And it's always almost this like line of play. And yeah, the line of play is good. It's very effective. But the problem with that line of play is it's also very predictive. So if you as the opponent knows that it's coming, like if on the first turn your opponent plays a cauldron and the cauldron searches out a correct one, on the second turn he plays the rabbit and it searches out a false, you already know what's coming. Even if they don't explicitly show you what they search out with the top force, it's also kind of obvious what they would play at that point of time.
Yeah, so with the rigid playstyle, right? There's a very streamlined, very rigid. But the thing is that if you're predictable, we opponent can try to exploit it lah. So there is always one thing to keep in mind in this game. Like not always following the meta is correct because sometimes you'll get exploited. Like it's a common thing for all the card games. It's the same. So
Shadowverse is like a very prime example of don't follow the meta. Because if you know the meta, you should know that your opponent also knows the meta. And if you're playing the deck that has the highest play rate in the meta, you also know that your opponent knows what you're going to do at what timing. So if you play what you think is best, most of the time they either already have a counter, or they just straight up don't care and will pressure you even more so that you won't even play the card at that point of time. Because sometimes playing the card at that specific timing will not net you a plus. Most of the time, it's gonna be a minus.
what about Rhythm?
Okay, before I continue, let me share with you one of the links for that I was looking for, the JCS link. You can look at it while I talk. Yeah. So my experiences with playing with Third Rune, right, is that he has two additional problems that I face on top of what Muroqis has mentioned. The deck heavily relies on 3 key cards, and the rest of the deck focuses around finding the 3 key cards. So mainly the cards that have been mentioned are Carry One, Faust, and
Riley.
Riley. So in my experiences playing the Third Rune, right, when you get all 3 cards, right, you feel like a god. You feel like you can play against every deck and win. But in games where you only get the Faust and you don't get Carry One or Riley, you feel like this deck sucks, man. What the fuck is this deck? And then you get Carry One and you don't get Faust, and then you don't get Riley, then you can't close out the game, and then you're like, what the fuck is this deck, man? And honestly, at the CS, that was the experience of the third player that was playing, the one that was, it's not me lah. Yeah. And I told him the same. That's what I experienced when I played this deck, and that's the reason I didn't bring this deck. Yeah. And additionally, the deck also suffers from a lot of issues. Not only is it predictable, it also does not have some of the key cards that you need for this meta. For example, you fight against bats, you need AoE. And towards the end, there's even in the JCS that was mentioned, right? The one that the data was based off the 81% Third Rune. They have to play 2 Arcane Barrage just to be able to fight against bats, because they lose to bats quite badly. Yeah, and the other thing is when you fight against Sword, yes, you have a very good hand, but if you don't have the Carry One, you don't have the Riley, you don't have other tools to deal with a whiteboard. You some of them play Golem Explosion, right, which is a card that destroys a golem on field and deals 3 damage to field, opponent's field, and opponent's leader. And if you are facing a lot of sword, that makes sense. But if you're facing bats, that doesn't make sense. You want to play Arcane Barrage. So the deck structure, right, or the cards that you want to play in the deck, right, is already very fixed. It's almost like 36 cards, 35 cards, right, are all fixed cards that you cannot change out anymore. And then the rest of the cards are really up to your personal preference to edit. And that also restricts the creativity when you want to tailor the deck, right, to your environment. Like for example, in this case, Shito has shared with us this deck, right? I would say the Arcane Barrage and the Magic Blade are the cards that you can switch around. Yeah, those are the 4 slots that you can really switch around, and maybe you can cut one of the Rabbit Mage to have 5 free slots for you to play around, and that's also the reason why the deck is very predictable, because you can't really play around with much of the deck. Compared to like bats, yes, you also have a standard package of cards, but there are a lot more slots to play around with. Yeah. So
Wait, this is not bad. That's not
how
bad.
that's how I summarize up the rune in this set.
Okay, this one doesn't have the bet, but yeah, the bet list was something that came out like a bit after when the meta stabilized more. Yeah, it wasn't at the start. Okay.
Because people found out that Rose Queen in the bad deck is too good, and you found out that it basically just outvalues literally every other deck in the meta.
Yeah, they discovered it quite late into the meta.
Yeah, and the problem about Rose Queen is that you don't have to open her at the specific timing. It's kind of recommended too, but you don't have to. You don't have to tell them that you have it, because there's also another line of play in turn 7, which is Kulak, which is a very overlooked card back in set 7, but now it's basically one of the stronger cards in the deck of bats. Okay, so basically, if for the people who don't know what Kulak does, it's a 7 PP 4/6 that
On fanfare.
on fanfare goes into your graveyard to find up to two cards with a total cost of 6 to put it into your EX, and for that turn
Play them
It-
for free.
is free.
Yeah.
Back in set 7, what I used to do was play Unleash the Nightmare and set 2 Vania. It was a 2-2. Okay. So what that nets you is a 4-6 on the board that can tap. Okay, he has another ability which is on activate. Okay, you deal damage according to how many vampire units you have on the field. Which after opening Unleash the Nightmare and Vania, you would have 5 from an empty board. That means you can deal with a opponent unit that is 5 health or lower and have a pretty big board that's set up for next turn. That was a line of play in set 7, which I did. I piloted a bad control to second place.
Yep, and
It
then,
was one of the most fun decks I played.
and
I ain't gonna lie to you.
after today podcast, we're gonna see BPO2 Vanya going to go up in price.
True, but
Bro, it's
Okay,
still,
okay.
still far away, man.
Okay, but
Still
back to that rune, right? Actually, my view was a bit different. I thought they should nerf it because it outright kills all the tempo deck that is out there, in my opinion.
no, it is very vulnerable if you don't have the set line of play that I said. It is actually a very vulnerable deck if you don't have the correct cards at the correct timing. It is still pretty much control mid-range deck. I feel.
Because for me,
Because all
right?
you're trying to do is basically your the amount of how do I say it? The amount of gas you have in the deck is actually like almost infinite. The only thing that's
sorry, I have to
the-
interrupt you there. It's not infinite. I've you
No.
once you play your third copy of house, right? Essentially your deck is only 10 cards.
yeah
And you are fighting to finish the game.
at that point of time you're trying to finish the game already, which is why I say it's nearly infinite how to say it?
Infinite resources.
Infinite resources relative to the other decks in the meta.
Yeah, that is true. But you have Amulet Haven, which
Amulet Haven is different, honestly.
which basically just counters this deck. Right. It outright counters this deck because Third Rune's game plan is to burn you and then storm your face for 6 with Riley and then try to kill you with Alchemist. But Amulet Haven just comes in, heal 8, strive off your freaking Riley's damage, and then sets up to kill you instead. So, I understand Shinto's point that this deck basically kills off all the tempo decks, but you have one solid counter to this deck. You have one deck that can also go out against this deck in the form of bats. And as much as this deck has dictated the entire meta, right, it's still not as strong as you think because going into set 10, right, this deck is gonna fall off quite hard. I've seen the gameplay versus set 10 decks, right? This deck's weakness is actually control decks, which can heal off your damage. Yeah.
Next set, if you're a rune player, just play chess. Just play chess. Just play chess.
That's my plan. That's my plan. Yeah.
So for me, right, was I mean the reason why I'm saying that it kills all the tempo and it should not see play is the same reason for Uma lah. The reason why Uma got nerfed was because it kills all the aggro deck, correct? And there's one deck that can raise it dragon, and there's one deck that can kill it, which is funny enough it was D-Shift? No. D-Shift, not D-Shift, Silverbolt Forest, right? Yeah, so
Control Silverbolt for us.
yeah, so I was thinking that, this shouldn't happen in the meta where you outright just kill a deck. Like, yes, you can have advantage over certain decks, but you cannot outright just kill one of the main ways to play the game. Like, for me, the main way to play a game is aggro, control, and tempo. So it's early, mid range, and late game, right? So if you can kill one of them, right, very consistently, then it's going to be a problem for a lot of it's not going to make the meta very healthy lah for me. That's why I was thinking that maybe they should. But I mean, given that your two think shouldn't, like let's see
It's
the official
because
do.
the meta is ending soon. It is in 10 days. The new set is going to come out,
Yeah.
and from our JP Bros testing on the other side, I can tell you, the rune feels like kind of bad.
Yeah, it's going to be a one set thing, right? Correct. Yeah, it's just going to be a one set thing.
Even a third room player will agree with you. Yeah.
I mean, we saw the
and
next set. We saw the next set. It's good. It's good.
And I'm gonna add on top of that, right? If they would like to restrict any cards in third room, right, it's very hard to do so. I can give you a reason why it is hard to do so. Is because they cannot restrict any cards with LG or URs because that will really crash the market. Right? You imagine you are a JB Bro. You bought Riley, you bought Faust, you have 3 of each. And then you have Carry One, which is like 24 Singapore dollars.
It's
For
like 30,
for one
like
evolve.
30, it's like 30,
It's
3,000
3,200 yen for one
Yeah.
evolve. And you buy the full set because you need to play 3. The deck is what, 200, 300? No, okay, I will use Japanese yen, okay. 300, 30,000 yen worth of deck. And they restrict for example, they restrict your files. You can only play 1 copy. They're gonna riot over there. If they restrict your Riley to 1, they're gonna riot over there. It's the same philosophy why they only restricted GR and Pinot cards for all the sets, and they do not touch any LGs because LGs no value, and it would really the whole Japanese audience would just lose confidence in this card game if they do that.
To add on to that, they recently changed the box size. Actually, not recently, it was like set 7.
Yes.
They recently changed the box size, and as a person who open cartons every set, you will always end up after set 7, you will always end up with at least one of the sets LG's evolve missing because there is not enough packs to make every LG like present, like every LG playset present. Sometimes you just get like 2 of one random units evolve. Like imagine you bought this sets set 9's rune package because you thought, oh, I'm gonna play dirt, and you open the carton and you find out that there is only
have 2 Carry One evolves.
You are going to flip someone. You are actually going to hit someone in the face.
Don't do it. We are just joking. Don't do it.
Yeah. The reason it's so limited is because LG, right? You only have 1 evolve in each pack, and by reducing the number of packs, right, you're reducing the number of overall evolve cards you can have. And LG and they also changed the rates, of course. Each box you can have only a certain number of LGs and 1 guaranteed SL. That's definitely good, but I don't know if it's true. What I believe the rates are is that you have 3 of each LG, or 4, or and some extras, of course. And then every box has a chance of flipping the LG slot into a SL or into a UR. And when you flip that slot into a SL, what happens is that, like for example, you have Carry One LG. You're supposed to get a Carry One LG in that box, but it flip into another LG. Like for example, maybe you flip into Java Evolve SL. Right, you need another SL to cover for this slot that just flip. For example, we call replace lah, right? That's my belief for how they are doing it. It might not be true, but so far, looking at all the cartons I opened, this is how it feels like.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. For the carton that I opened, uh, my carton's rune player got 4 Curate 1, 4 falls,
Yeah.
and 5 Curate 1 evolves. Okay.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
In on the other side, we have 1 missing Jan evolve, set 9 Jan evolve, and 1 missing Celia evolve. Okay, that was how bad it was.
And mind
Our
you guys,
carton was so skewed.
Celia
It was-
Evolve was also very expensive. Okay, it was
Jan
almost
evolve
the
is
same
also
price.
back on the start on the first day. Jan
Oh.
evolve was a $15 card, a 15,000 yen card.
So
And
fucking funny.
for Celia, on the first day, Celia's evolve was a 3,000 yen card. It was actually insane.
Sorry, I had to correct. It's a 1,500 yen card for. Is it 1,500?
I mean, I take out the list already, so we are looking at
Jan Evolve was 1,500, not 15,000.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
1,500. Yeah.
Cedar one, right? The evolve.
Correct one.
We call her a bit different from different people.
I call it Curate one. Like
Curate one.
Curate one,
Yeah,
Curate.
but my friends call it Seri one.
Anyway, it's 2.8k yen.
So essentially in Singapore it's like $28.
28. Meanwhile, Celia is 2k yen.
20,000 yen.
$20.
And if you go down the list, you can see Vania at 30.
Yeah,
Somewhere
Venia
there
is
also.
$60. Yeah, because
Jan
of
went down. Jan went down a lot, but that's because people like playing Amulet more than Stormhaven.
because they found out that John is not as good of a card as we thought.
But I think we hope for next set, honestly.
As for me, right, for me, I don't open cartons because I poor. So let's move on to the next one. I don't open carton. I've yet to open one carton. The max I did was 2 boxes for sets.
But it's good information for those who are going into set 7 for EN. Yeah, so look out for that.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
they will move the conversion of boxes from like 16 packs per box to 12 packs per box. The same way, like in set 7 for English.
And okay, so for one more set, right, that I think that is worth to bring up, but very, very unlikely we think so, that is gonna happen is the Egg Haven.
My favorite deck for
Yes,
3
your
sets.
favorite deck. Yeah, for 3 sets. So
My
Egg Haven was good for
favorite
3
deck
sets.
for 3 sets.
But on the other hand, this is my favorite set. This was a set that I did the best in so far.
This is set 4.
No, set 5. Which
five.
is
Okay, somewhere there. Yeah, okay. I forgot. I saw the epitaph and I was like, oh shit, it's set 4.
But set
Yeah.
5 was the one that I did the best. I felt like set 5 cards are insane, man. What the fuck?
Guys, please bring your bullets for this stupid ass book. This stupid ass book is legit insane, too insane of a card. I didn't even know that I didn't even know it has been until like 2 weeks up into playing the card. Like
insane.
Okay. So a bit of background, right? So Egg Haven is a deck that first shows up in BPO3.
Yep.
And then
it was a pretty weak deck because it doesn't have the protection that Andromeda gives.
Yeah, I think I was watching was it Burn One? Yeah, they were saying that 8 didn't perform to what they expected. Which is kind of true in set 3, because set 3 is still a very different ball game. Yeah.
For the EN side. But okay, this one is the Shadowverse Evolve Master. This is their tier list. So Egg Haven is tier 1 with Discard Dragon and Uma Musume, while Hero Sword is tier 2. Mid-range Forest Control Abyss.
Is this JP or is it EN?
EN, updated April 8.
Oh, yeah.
So I think depend on the local also, like each player have their own meta and
Okay,
you
time
know,
to go and build control abyss.
Yeah, but we all know
Man.
that the reason Egg Haven is so good is because they counter Uma.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
all know
because
that. Yeah.
most of the time Uma cards don't have more than 5 health.
Yeah.
That is the
And
main point.
and Uma doesn't have a lot of heals, so the slow burn from Egg Haven actually kills them very easy.
Haha, you can say that they are getting cooked.
Can I egg you?
One order of fried egg, please.
Yeah, I want to egg this guy, bro. What the hell? Okay, so do you guys? Yeah, so you guys don't think Egg Haven should get nerfed or restricted in the upcoming sets, like for
No,
EN?
the thing is, Egg Haven, although a strong deck, it has a lot of counterplay.
Yeah.
The first one being your
Banish.
opponent can see your hand.
Yes, that's correct.
Basically, because of Alice's ability to put cards into your EX area and the Humpty Dumpty's ability to take away your whole hand. 7 about to be 0.
Oh, that's a long
Wow,
time
that's
since I
actually
heard
messed
that.
up. That's actually messed up. Okay, I should stop making that joke.
So
Okay.
so with that said, I think so most of us are not agreeing that there should be any restriction. In fact, we think like the game is very balanced for the future of Shadowverse Evolve. We
Yeah.
have not. Do you guys have any other like meta which you think that they should any of the decks should have gotten restriction?
Any of that.
Like other than
Which
what
one?
we talked today, other than what
Sorry,
we talked, you
I
zoned
spaced
out.
out.
Yeah. So other than what we talked today,
Okay.
were there any other decks do you think should have gotten restriction that we haven't gone through?
For EN or JP?
I mean, for your experience in JP lah, was there any meta which you think that this card should have gotten restricted? This card was too good.
This card should have gotten restricted. No, honestly. I think in set 9, even though some cards are quite overpowered, actually not really. I think most of them have like a similar power level. They don't really like step across one another. Yeah.
So I think most of us agree.
Honestly, the only problem I have is a lot of decks that I thought would be good is actually just kind of underperforming. And yeah.
Because you
and
like gimmick cards, that's why. You always like the gimmick playstyle. Always say you like, bro, the card too gimmick, but you say can work, and then after that over there like, oh, cannot work because too gimmick already. I need this card plus this card. The only 6 card
No,
in your
okay.
deck out of 40.
You gotta understand that I am a person who experiments and gamble. If you didn't know, we spent almost an hour and a half yesterday me playing Titan Urns in Untap. Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to beat people with 11 damage, but what I found out was this 11 damage was never coming out. Okay. And honestly, Luzon is just a very, very shit card.
Yeah, I heard your from your testing. I heard from someone else that the loser wasn't working out for you.
The Luzon is so bad. Like you might look at the card like, okay, you take 1 less damage from all sources. Your opponent cannot draw on their draw after their draw step. And your opponent and you drop cards until you and your opponent have 2 cards left in hand each. Okay? But first of all, it's a 7 cost card, which means you can only either play on turn 6 or turn 7, turn 6 being True Death Breath. But the problem is you never want to give it ward because why? Secondly is it doesn't clear the board. The main thing is on turn 6, turn 7, your opponent's support is big as shit. Yeah? You're not going to fucking survive in this economy with a loser on the field on turn 7. Okay? In this economy, holy shit, man, it's so bad.
the man's sad because I'm the one he's playing against.
No,
Hey,
no, it's
he's
not
sick,
even
man.
just like it's not just like
Yeah.
the like it's not just like the opponent deck is good. It's just this deck is so fucking bad. Oh my god!
What was the
Like
original combo?
You hear
I don't know.
first.
The
You
Luzen
hear.
combo is with the spells, right? It's a neutral spell.
Alter Fate.
Oh,
Auto Fate, yeah, it's a BPO1 card. So basically, what he's trying to do also was that he want to play Luzen into Auto Fate. So Auto Fate will returns both player hands to the deck, and then they draw that many card they return. And because your opponent cannot draw, they're gonna have no hand.
Yeah. The other play which was more possible was the what is it called? The Luzon into Sonata or Silence, recalling your Lunai. And at that point of time, normally you have Necro Charge 10, which means Sonata or Silence Necro Charge 10 ability will go off, which means you would
You will
discard a card.
one.
Yes, you will firstly discard one, and then on Runai, enter the battlefield effect, it's going to destroy one unit. One unit that is 3 costs or lower. Okay? That means you deal with one unit on the board. Secondly, you discard a card from their 2-card hand, mind you. And thirdly, you evolve Runai to discard their last card from their hand. Essentially stripping them of basically anything they can do.
Except for their board.
But the
it's
main
in
problem
Senate.
it has is Sonata is a second card.
Oh.
Yeah, Senate card. They supported
It's a gold card.
small Omen support during that set.
Yes,
Then
Sonata or Silence.
right there.
Left.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
So
yeah,
what it
this
does
card.
is I can choose a Runai from my graveyard, I put it on the field. Essentially it's a very useless card. Unless you have
You
Runai
have
in your
no
graveyard.
Runai. And I banished one of his Runai yesterday, and it was so hard for me to use this card.
Try, bro. Okay, basically this you essentially on turn 10, you destroy one 3-cost or lower unit. You force them to have no hand. They cannot draw outside of their draw step. And you take 1 less damage from every source.
Yeah,
But they still
For
got
a turn 10
four
state,
followers
that
on
is
board. lah.
they basically still have 4 followers on the board. Unless your Ruler Knight can hit into one of them. Most of the time you're not living.
Don't tell you already
Uh,
dead already in this meta.
The biggest problem with Nightmare now is that they can't survive until turn 7, and most of their big hitters are turn 7.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, even bad sometimes can't even survive to 7, bro.
Okay. I think we spoil Ian enough with all the
Yeah.
spoilers. So let's move on to the next topic. You guys are still up for the next topic?
Yes. I don't mind.
Sure.
It's
Alright,
only been 1
so
hour.
so the next topic will be neck deck problems with encountered or observed. Anybody want to start first?
Oh, I think we kind of spoiled it earlier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skin-
Neck decking is a good place to start off your meta or your testing. If you're a new player, is a good place to start. But you must always consider all the other possibilities in the meta and all other cards in your class, what can improve your deck and what you have to go against. Yeah. One of the mistakes I had in the worlds, right, is that yes, I'm a JP player. I have played this meta before. I've played this Uma meta before. I'm bringing discard dragon into this meta because it's strongest. But I have never played a single game in this meta until that day.
Mm.
So I don't know the matchups. I don't know who is playing what. I don't know what kind of decks I need to go against. And honestly, I lost most of the matchups that I didn't even know. Yeah. And
In what I always like to say, Shadowverse is not a game where you can just learn your deck and win. Most of the time you also have to learn your opponent's deck. Because earlier we talked about how mostly it's this game is rather predictable in terms of what your opponent would do at what specific point of time if you know their deck. If you know their deck. Yeah. So most of the time you can plan on their next turn or the turn after that.
Yeah.
As the earlier example I gave was that turn one this dirt rune player is gonna open a cauldron into putting a Caradon into his hand. Turn two, he opens the rabbit and he finds a Faust and put it in his hand. On turn three, going second, what do you think he will play? Most probably a Caradon. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can honestly just guess what will go on and will go on. As long as you understand what are in meta right now, you most of the time you can deal with a lot of things. Which is why every time I play some random jank deck, I can get all the way near the top.
Because no one can predict your deck.
Because nobody knows what I'm doing. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm doing. Okay, like I played the Bad Nightmare in set 7, thinking like this is so going to be so cooked. It's gonna be so cooked. And I found out that I'm not just cooking, I'm cooking other people also.
A good
Yeah,
thing I
frying the
noticed
other people's brain.
But actually, also to add on to that, right? If you know your deck and you know your opponent's deck, sometimes it also allows you to set up for more advantageous turns. Like,
Mm.
oh, I have 2 followers on field. I have a 2/2 and a 3/3 as a swordcraft. If I open Flora Fencer, the dragon player is going to conflict my entire field, right? So this turn I'm going to just play another 3/3 follower on field and let him conflict it. And then after that I can return my field to its former glory by just summoning the Flora Fencer. It's this kind of cases where doing the best on that turn might not be the best for your game plan.
Yes.
Yeah, and like even playing against bats, right? It's also the same thing. If you know that he is gonna summon a bunch of bats on the next turn, you're gonna hold your AoE for the next turn. Like if he has 2 bats on field, okay, I'll just give it to you. You can hit me for 2 to 4 damage. Next turn you summon more, okay, I'm gonna just get everything out of the field.
What do you mean? We open a full board Precious Blood times 2. Swing for 15.
Damn,
Go!
damn, you got me there.
Okay,
Yeah, so
but
that game was
yeah, I
yes,
want to add on, right, is that Shadowverse Evolve, even the mobile game, the gameplay is very tempo based. If you play this game, you realize that the game is very tempo based, where you can snowball out of control if you got the perfect starting. So, like learning the matchup, and knowing what cards you need to counter against your opponent deck, and know how to play against your opponent deck. Normally what is happening is that you're just trying to stop the early tempo, because if you let your opponent just do what they want during the early game, you will get out of control damn fast. Like what I always tell people is that how to know if you're still in the game is that everybody know what is tempo, right? So one tempo usually means like an instance of constants. So if you feel that you are behind by 2 tempo, normally you're going to lose the game very soon. I mean,
check out this tempo swing. Death Breath into Israfil into whole board. Bye bye.
yeah. So most of the time, you really have to learn the matchup. It's not about just looking at the meta. Like the meta only tells you so much, correct? The data of the meta only tells you so much.
Gotta put those hours in, man. Gotta grind for the matches.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. So one thing, right? So for example, like looking at BPO3, right? I can tell you because I've talked to someone else that their meta is very different from this meta list from Bima, where Indonesia Control Abyss is tier 1. No joke, Control Abyss is tier 1 in Indonesia. For I think US, right? Hero Sword was tier 1. Discard Dragon tier 1, 8 Haven tier 1, BNB was tier 2.
It honestly depends on what the region prefers playing. In
Yes.
set 4, our region was basically just full on mid range forest where everybody plays what was it called? Elephant,
Wait, this is
Cassiopeia.
set 3, right? Set 3, right?
Set 4. We are
Set
talking
4,
about
No, this is set 3, set 3.
this is
set
set 3.
3, yeah. Okay.
Set 3, it was filled with BNB elves in our meta. It's just 4 BNB elves at the time.
Oh, set 3, right? Yeah. The Flame of Leviathan. For us, it's also very different because, like I said, the local meta doesn't mean the general meta, which I find a lot of people also have this. Do I have the. Oh, this one I didn't show the pie chart. Oh, because I didn't have the numbers. Okay, so one thing I also find from a lot of people is that when we are discussing deck, right, we always talk about the default deck that they want to play. Not they want to play, like the decks themselves kind of really wants to play. So one example was that in BPO1, when I was discussing the meta for EN and JP, was saying that Ram Dragon was the strongest. Not Ram Dragon was the strongest. Aggro Sword can beat Ram Dragon, and EN player was like, no, it can't. And at first, I was very confused. And then what happened was that this is the default list that's run in JP. Alright? But for EN, I can't remember what they take out. I think they take out PTP. They
Oh, they
put
didn't take out
in
PTP.
they put in the BPO one, right? They put in what's that card? The AO the earlier bot white for Dragon is, I think, like
Dragon Wings. Dragon Wings.
Dragon Wings. So they played Dragon Wings in their main.
Dragon
It's-
Wings is
Yeah, right there,
yeah.
right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So they play this instead of PTP. And they just kill all the aggro deck. And it's not wrong because in EN, a lot of people were picking up aggro deck because it was damn cheap to make the aggro deck. But for JP, we were seeing Ram Dragon VSing OTK D Shift because, like, as what Rhythmz was saying, right? Like, Japan player love D Shift a lot, love Rune deck a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and that Dragon Wings just kills 3 decks. They kill Aggro Sword, they kill Aggro Nightmare, they kill Roach Forest also, because everything is 1/1. 2/2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The highest they can go is maybe 3, but at that point of time, they're already on overflow and Dragon Wings will do 3 anyway, so it's like kinda
Yeah. So one thing to note is that when discussing about decks, usually we default. Usually you need to default what are the standard lists. At the same time, just because there is that there is data that show, right, a deck can win another. Let's say, for example, Egg Haven can win Elephant, even though there is data showing that, right. The if you tune your deck list, I can tell you Elephant also can win Egg very easily. I mean, that one is you must understand is that in this game, even a bit of changes in the deck actually affects the win rate a lot. Yeah.
which is why
deck,
Dragon Wing was played in set 1 because
Yeah.
Dragon Wing was just everybody's playing aggro. You just go in, you take Dragon Wing, pray that you can ram into Dragon Wing. Sometimes you don't even need to ram into Dragon Wing. Like you can ram into Dragon Wing and still have PP to play into Death Breath, Blazing Breath.
Yeah.
actually
And most of the time you clear most of their turn 4 board, and then you can go into turn 5 with relatively high health to conflict their board, and you can solve another turn's worth of aggro.
Yeah, Dragon Wings and Blazing Breath is the answer for Flower Fencer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
2 across and 2 on top of the Flower Fencer. Yeah, that was what I did also.
Okay. So let's move on to the
Yeah,
next
actually-
topic. You want something? Add something?
Yeah, actually, if you looked at my set 4 list, right, you know, one of the decks that I was countering was Egg Haven because, you know, Mr. Moro.
Okay lah, sorry lah.
Muroqis here plays Egg Haven, and I had to tune my my elf deck to counter his.
This one, right?
be honest. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest. Every time I play egg, everybody's like, "Wow, not this again."
So the point that I didn't manage to bring up in just now when we were talking about Egg Haven is that one of the counters is you can return Tin Man into their hand on top of their deck with Suzuka or Rose Gardener, right? And they are not able to summon it from their graveyard and they have to play it from hand, which messes up their counter
Is
the way they play with the counters.
It's not a mess up. It's more of a tempo loss because the moment you put out Tin Soldier, most of the
zero
time
counters.
you most of the time when you push out Tin Soldier, you already used up all the counters on it. But the real reason why Tin Soldier was so good between turn 4 and turn 5, right, is because of its relative tankiness and its stable board presence.
Yeah.
The moment you bounce it, it straight up you call it as a 3PP 3/4 on turn 5, turn 6, you would start crying. I would start crying, honestly.
Yeah, that is true. So most of the other elf players they weren't playing Suzukas or Rose Gardener because they were playing more of the boat version, right? And
Yeah.
honestly, my counter was really just to go fast because Egg Haven has this big weakness. They can't heal either. Unless they have Dark Offering, of course, but at the point of time, I don't
In set 4 and set 5, Dark Offering was cut for
Yeah.
the
Aggressiveness,
the
yeah.
Wuma amulet.
Andromeda and also later on the book yeah. So they didn't have much healing. So all you need to do is be faster than them, and it's actually relatively easier to be faster than them when they don't have a perfect hand to go against you.
You see,
Yeah,
this Rhythm spoil market. I haven't even teach people how to play this meta, and he's already over here sharing the secret for next meta
Okay,
already.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest.
But to your point, yes, look at the meta and treat your deck according to the meta. That's
I'm gonna
how
be
it
honest.
is.
The most fun thing about playing in that meta was every time people would start complaining about why do I always have a 1-drop on turn 1. Because back in set 4, you only have 2 1-drops, and it's Andromeda and Feria. Somehow I almost always draw into them, and if I say I go first, most of the time they're like, ah shit, it's over. Because I'll always have it.
Over.
I mean the version that I showed was the late the end of the meta where they fine tune Egg Haven. Yeah lah. There's only a few 1-drops. Got Bellringer, Farah, or Andromeda, right?
Back in set 4, I think I took out Bellringer already because there wasn't a really real need for hand. I took it out for the Ma amulet, the 1PP one.
I mean,
I
there's the
forgot
different way of
forgot.
playing lah. Because the thing they play is the two mana Amnesty Lion.
Yeah,
Amethyst
they
flying.
put the 1 damage from the Bellringer and the Bellringer attacks for 1.
Yeah.
One to face.
There's a few ways to build the deck lah. Basically, yeah. This,
Mm.
like I say, this deck is just a starting point for everybody. So
Yes,
everybody
based
who
on-
use my list, right, is a starting point. All right, modding of the list is highly recommended.
True.
I think you have to change it to you must mod the deck.
This is just a template. If you play this specific deck list, I will come and hunt you down.
Whoa. Calm down. Okay, there's some lists that I give full power, but most of the time I try not to give the full power because I don't want people to just rely on other people's deck lists and not go and figure out how to make their deck better. So if you guys always come to my site and then try my deck, right? Please remember I'm not giving you the full power. And there's a reason for it because I hate it when people just net deck and then will come to me, how come your deck doesn't work? And I don't know what to tell the person. Like every time.
Why your deck doesn't work? Why you don't have why you don't have a deck for Egg Haven that actually works? Shinto, come on.
You don't.
Come on,
Why you not top 8? Why you not top 8?
Oh,
BPO 4, you play 8 Haven, why not top 8? Huh?
back then I open I use the Uma spell. I look at top 3 and I see 3 failures, and I tell my opponent. And I tell my opponent, I think it's time to go back to Nightmare.
Good
Okay,
defense.
I mean, most of us started with one deck, right? I mean, let's move on to the next topic, since we already we off tangent. Let's move on to the next topic. Like,
Yeah, that's good.
most of us started with one decks, right?
Mm.
So except for Rhythmz, I think Rhythm rich lah. He's a rich guy.
I'm a working adult, unlike both of you.
He's a rich daddy looking for. Hey, okay, joke.
Yes, yes. So I mainly play sword, elf, and rune.
Yeah. So for me and Muroqis, we play one deck. So Muroqis, what's the reason why?
I am not a one trick. I'll tell you right now, I am not a one trick. I just
Yes.
I just don't have as much money to build dragon. Okay, I just don't have enough money to build dragon. So, okay, I only have one main deck because I like Abyss a lot. Okay, I used to be a shadow player, but the fucking necro charge.
Okay. You want to share with everybody, even though you are a government body, how much are you earning every month?
Oh,
Slightly less than 1,000. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, that's not gonna fund the game and live on the money lah. So there's a reason why we don't main more than 2 decks. Yeah.
But it's okay. Once I get out of this hellhole,
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna start building dragon.
whoever who knows what he's working as, you guys know. If you don't know, then just take it as he's working as a government body. Yeah. So
Against my will.
against his will. Okay. So the thing is that, right, when was, I mean, you did share lah. Okay, your experience why you changed that, right? Because you open egg and
That was mostly a joke, but Egg Havens, the reason why I can sit down and play Egg Haven so many times over the course of 3 sets even is because Egg Haven has this wondrous ability
to make
to
your
just
opponent.
gamble off the top of your deck.
yeah. We Chinese love to gamble, no choice. It's like that.
and
It's just in
and
the
I
blood.
think his favorite card is a chariot inside there.
Yeah, Chariot is, oh my god, my wow, what a run, my woman.
Okay, so the question I want to ask, right, when should player choose a second class or second deck?
Firstly is when you want to test out a different playstyle, because most of the time the 6 different main classes, right, they all offer a different style of playing the game. And if you want to play a different type of deck, that's where you can branch out. Sometimes it's not always fine and dandy playing dragon all the time, and not throwing dragon oracle onto maybe maybe a bad player. Yeah.
For
Okay, but,
Rhythm, Rhythm.
I would say, okay. So this is for all the EN players. Okay, the good thing about being in EN is that you know what is coming. Okay, you are able to plan out what decks you want to play, and I would say, and this goes the same for JP players also. When you main a class, you have this issue where your class can drop off the cliff of the meta. Set 5. Okay, so in set 4, I was playing mid-range Elephant Forest. Set 5, the fucking deck just fell off the cliff, stumbled into the dustbin below, and I just had to pick up another deck for that meta.
Izudia moment.
Yeah, so there are certain metas where your deck just disappears for the entire meta because it's that bad.
Oh no! I just realized that I have nothing to write for next set.
Yeah, that's why I told you that when we made this infographic, I told you set 5 Elf was nowhere to be seen because it was that bad. That bad.
Oh shit! I just realized I got nothing to write for the what to play series for set 5. Oh shit!
So because of that, right? Sometimes you have to have a fallback. And playing another deck also broadens your game sense of the of Shadowverse. Being stuck in one tricking a deck is good. You master the deck, you know the matchups, you know everything. I have faced this aggro Abyss Craft player, right? She plays only aggro Abyss Craft. And honestly, every time I face her, I'm scared. I cannot win her because I'm playing obviously I'm playing Discard Dragon and Dragon in general, but in the end. But she's like, this not very confident girl, but she scares me every time I face her. Yeah. So one tricking is good, but you also need to broaden your horizons when you play Shadowverse. If you're just playing Haven, you're going to be stuck in this problem of only playing control. You'll never be able to, if the deck goes into another direction, for example, in 6 or 7, you go into What Haven. You're going to suffer a bit because it's a totally different play style. And if you are able to play other decks before that, you can ease yourself into that archetype better. And additionally, of course, you know how to counter that deck when you face it. That's the added value. And yeah.
I would say the added value is actually the most important thing you get from having more than one class to play.
Yes.
Because the added value is actually, I would say, the most important thing you need to have playing Shadowverse. Because that is where it teaches you the line of play, their strength at what point of time, and the weaknesses at what point of time. It's a skill where you know what your opponent's doing at one point of time. I keep saying that, but it is an actual important thing that you need to remember. Like what can they do? What can you exploit about what they can do at what point of time?
Yeah, I want to add on to that because someone actually asked me before like why I don't play the game, but when I go to CS I sit down, I can know how to fight against all the meta. Like not say I didn't play the game. The problem is for me is that why I don't change class often is because I'm a need. So I only have limited cash. If I want to upgrade my deck, I might, the thing is right now is that for me I might upgrade my deck once every 2 set because that's how things are for me. So I really have to study the decks as well because I'm writing articles. I have to study the deck for other classes, and this really helped me because when I sit down, is a new meta. I sit down and I play against player. Despite not knowing what the deck does, asking all the questions, oh, what does this new card do? Or what does it trigger? I still know how to play the game because I've studied all the different classes, and the line of play is very, very similar. If you are mid range, your line of play will always be trying to gain back tempo, trying to flood the board. If you're aggro, you're going to discard your hand, going to go fast. If you're playing control, you are just waiting to board wipe. So more or less you can guess what your opponent is going to do next. But this is not something that comes to everyone very easily. You really have to try out all the different decks and learn. Like I think one one of the better what we call it, not accessories, one of the better training tool is Untap, right?
Untap.in.
Yeah. So Untap is a very good card game simulator. So when I don't have the physical cards, I go to Untap and I just test the deck in this digital form. Yeah. So you everybody will have to really go and learn the different deck lah. I would say, yeah, because if you are only maining one class, right? Yes, you are going to be good at that deck, but you when it comes to a new meta, especially when our CS is whole 1 or 2 weeks when the set comes out, right? Yeah, you only have such a limited time to get used to the deck.
Untap is like basically your best way to learn about the deck even before the deck comes out.
Yeah,
Because the way Untap is that the cards get updated very
immediately.
frequently, like basically immediately.
Almost immediately after the cards are released.
You at most you give it like maybe 2-3 hours, you can start testing the card that was just like announced.
Yeah, and for EN players, you have the added bonus of every single card that is already been released in JP is already in Untapped, so you can just hop onto any of the metas and test out way before that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's
And-
the king? Who's the king that's updating the Untap right now?
I think it's local Barbaros sim. I think Doraemon. I think Doraemon is the one that is
Doraemon.
Yeah.
Salute you, my king.
So
Salute.
the JP players also do this all the time. They print out like paper versions of it and just slot it into their sleeves.
And
and
you
start
can
playing.
watch like Nala. Nala is a
JP
content creator on YouTube that does Shadowverse
Japan.
JP content.
I mean,
Nah.
I'm pretty sure for the EA players, there's a lot of EA content out there too. Yeah, Nala is our main source for a lot of this.
A lot of yeah. Then there's also the other one, which is the Evolve channel. I don't remember the name.
I
it's in
don't
Japanese.
remember. Yeah, I also don't remember.
Yeah, it's in Japanese lah. Yeah.
And then yeah, so these are the ways you can get ahead. And you guys still want to go a bit longer? I mean, we are already like 1.5 hour in.
I don't mind. Actually,
You don't mind. How about Rhythmz?
Do you have any more topics? I think we are pretty good already, or isn't it? We covered a lot in this session.
Yeah, I mean, are you guys gonna be playing the next BSF event, Bushiroad Springfest?
I am going to go in with if I can get my hands on one of the decks that I used to play, I would. If not, then I'll build my own deck.
I have been already training on my elf decks. The same elf deck that I bought for CS in Singapore.
I am not going to disclose what class I'm playing.
Yeah,
Even though it's pretty obvious which one of the two classes I'll pick up lah.
I mean, I'm also setting up the team currently. And then yeah, I'll be playing Haven. Like I only have one class deck and it's Haven. Not gonna lie. And what? And you guys got watch any of the EN channels, or you guys don't really watch any of the EN contents?
I don't really watch.
I
Because like we've been through that I've been through that like era myself. So like revisiting the era is like a bit weird to me.
Going back to the war zone, going back to Vietnam.
It's not like reliving PTSD, it's like reliving nostalgia. Because back in set 4 it was like my territory.
flashbacks.
Every for him wasn't he was the agitator, spraying napalm everybody with the egg napalm, and then we over there getting burned alive.
I think I watch mostly Burn One content because they have online tournaments, and of course the podcast also, which is where I learned that Haven is not performing as they expected. And gameplay wise, I also watch them for their content. I think virtual online content tournaments are quite good to watch.
For me is I don't really watch content. Even for the JP side, I don't really watch videos. I just don't watch card game videos for some reason. Like maybe I got spoiled because the like for what I would say is that right back then right the top tier, the gold standard for card game content right for me was Hearthstone. Hearthstone was the gold standard. Like because of the RNG in the game, right? You can have crazy moment watching all the streamers play. But because right now is that people don't like RNG. And then they take out.
Yeah.
And then after that the content become very boring for me because there's no hype moment, you know. The RNG is the one that keeping me afloat while watching the card games. Also, I
still
got
remember I still remember back in the old days where Control Warrior was a thing. Every time you press your hero power,
Oh
plus 5
my
shield. Every
god,
time you press
no.
your hero power, plus 5 shield, plus 5 shield, plus 5 shield,
Oh my
plus 5
god,
shield.
this is literally Vietnam flashbacks right there. Oh my
That was
god.
like the meta I thrived in.
Imagine fighting one with like 20 armor and then you have
No,
only
it's
like
not just
10.
20 armor. Like in one of the what is it called? In one of the like high stakes tournament, like both of them were playing
Control
control
warrior.
warrior, and you see their health was like 20 plus 300 armor,
Yeah,
and
and
they
then
sit there and they out fatigue each other.
you will be like, everyone, get in here.
Oh my god!
That was when I stopped watching Hearthstone. That was the most after that. I think after the Yoxora era, I stopped watching really because it becomes
I was
very
still playing a
streamlined.
bit.
Yeah.
So you lost the hype. Yeah, and now that's why you are in Yu-Gi-Oh right now, right?
Bro, Yu-Gi-Oh is the no Yu-Gi-Oh was fine at first because a bit of backstory is that I didn't get into competitive card games until more recent. I think like people were playing competitive card games since they are 14. I think I started competitive card game in about at the age of 18, 19, 20 around there.
Okay,
So
I start my one also around the same time.
so
I
so
only recently got back to competitive card game, which is like when was it? 2022.
yeah,
Yeah.
so Yu-Gi-Oh was a launch pad for me. In fact, I actually have a master in Yu-Gi-Oh to teach me how to play competitively because I suck at it. And when he teach me, right, I jumped straight up to top 32 in Singapore. Out of nowhere.
Nice. Competitive play right there, man.
Okay, so
But yeah,
one thing we can discuss is the glory finder.
Mm. I'm gonna try and make Luzon my Glory Finder favorite unit, and hope that he doesn't just shoot me in the foot, honestly.
bro, they just came out with a new card today. You can use the amulet to search out the new Haven card.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
it got 7 costs.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm
But,
gonna try and cook up some random nonsense for it.
but what you
Imagine I
guys think
open.
about the format?
I think it's really fun. Highlander formats. I always have a thing for Highlander formats.
About
Because
Rhythm?
Highlander formats has this, like you said just now, people don't like RNG, but I revel in the RNG powers. It's like holy shit.
Chaos reincarnate right here.
Yeah,
Vanguard
it's like
player, man.
back when playing like Whims of Chaos Rune. Oh my god, Whims of Chaos Rune. Oh my god, you remember that meta? It was so glorious.
What about Rhythms? What have you tried the Glory Finders format?
Yeah, I tried a few games. I feel
Everybody started packing.
it's I mean it's basically similar to another card game, right? That plays commanders.
Maho the Gathering.
It's like a totally like local meta. My play group just focused on killing, and then everybody is like, oh, I do 10 to everyone. Then suddenly everybody is back at 20 again. And then you know how we lost? We lost to a combo deck.
No,
They
it's
knew,
because we all don't have a clear end goal. That's why we lost.
so they were really smart. They drew their entire deck, and then they
With
discarded their entire hand, which was like 20 over, and just killed everyone. Yeah, and the next deck I'm looking at, I'm gonna play Deepwood Anomaly with Storm.
Bro, no, don't do that, bro. What the
Yeah.
hell no.
So I mean, it's an interesting format, and it's a casual format, but I'm more excited to see when it becomes a real like side event. Like take like open it or like
I'm excited for Open 8.
open it is also very exciting.
I mean, we did a few, right, with the Uma packs.
Yeah, but for a mainstay player like me, I'm less interested in the exclusive cards. Honestly,
I
can't
mean,
play
this
them.
glory, all Or this is it exclusive Glory Finder cards?
Yeah, I don't. I'm gonna play the main Shadowverse anyway, right?
But I'm afraid
Yeah.
that it will be too overpowered that you have to buy the structure deck to play the game. You get what I mean?
I mean, the structure deck is a good starting point for players who haven't played Shadowverse Evolve yet, and they just want to play another kind of commander type game. Yeah, and yeah, of course, to your point, if people want to start playing Glory Finder, they have to buy all these cards, lah. Yeah,
Mm.
and I think for EN it's much better because EN you are only in set 3/4, plus the collab set, of course. There's less cards overall to choose from, so of course they're trying to push out the starter Glory Finder decks, right? They want you to buy the decks, of course, right?
Yeah, and it's super value. One of the deck actually inside have Olivia.
Yeah.
So
And you can
literally
use
you can
it.
buy 4 of the deck, and then you got a place of Olivia.
And then after that, Olivia's price is gonna just go all the way down.
This is going to tank, but the thing is, I think it's pretty good for. It's still pretty good,
for new players, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just another avenue of that people can join the game.
Yeah, but have you guys seen the deck list for the Glory Finders, the starter decks?
No. But
No.
I'm waiting for the full list before I actually really dive into it.
what
But
is that?
it
Wait, I
kind
saw a
of
hippocamus in the deck. I saw a hippocamus.
yeah. This
in
is
the deck.
a Phoenix Rules deck lah. This is the
Yeah, you see-
this is the Ram. Ram
you
is the
see
big
the
stuff.
You see Deepwood Anomaly right there?
Yeah, Deepwood Anomaly
Deepwood
was it?
Anomaly.
Yeah.
Oh fucking!
Oh my god!
way.
Then after they put a Uma Storm spell inside, let's go.
Yeah, and then after that, for this one is more like a tempo deck. It seems like it. Tempo, Gabriel, Roundtable, Alexander, Leonidas.
More aggressive deck.
Yeah, and the third deck is
This is a more combo deck from what I saw. It has Chimera
Yeah.
inside.
Chimera, Kerberos, Medusa, Flaming Glass, all
Dragon
the.
Oracle, Azazir.
Oh my god! What is this nonsense?
Yeah, this more like a graveyard meal, and then try to bring them back up. And with Daria and Giant Chimera as backup, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Then this one is the
That's the control healing variant.
yeah
this?
discard
Shenlong, you see? One off Shenlong, yes. Right.
and
Lucy-
discard
and
and
You can Lucifer, White Swans, yeah, most of your
This one
heals are
is mostly searching for answer control deck.
there. Indication and healing also lah. Yeah.
Yeah.
so which guy you all predict will be the one of the better class? I mean, from what we are seeing right now.
Definitely Baphomet. Definitely Baphomet.
Deepwood Anomaly with Storm.
Let's fucking
The funny
go.
thing is, you just have to attack one player and you win the game.
No, they're like anything resolve.
Resolve, any bounce, anything. No.
Anything.
I
No.
win the game.
Okay. Ping
Then
pong.
Then you stand up, then you gather your deck, and then you walk away like a boss.
Is there any expensive things like this? Maybe this
Oh
might
my
be
god,
the
there's
cheapest.
armor of the stars in this deck.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Wait,
What,
where?
Right there.
Right below.
Below the third from the bottom. Ah, the stars, third from the bottom.
Oh shit!
They know.
Oh my god, there's
Oh.
realm of repose in this deck also.
Oh my
actually,
god, okay, yeah. I mean,
There's also hippocamus. Hippocamus is like, oh shit, I do nothing and then I have a 7/7 on the board.
but the main thing is because this is an informal format, right? GP players can just bring a GP deck to play with EM players.
Yeah.
That's true.
Not
for
officially,
us.
of course, right? But
Yeah.
informally, we can.
Okay, I will find a way to keep opening Mitra.
What's your current choice of commanders?
You go to set 6, you go to a neutral gold card called Mitra. A neutral
Abyss,
gold card.
is it?
Neutral.
Neutral.
Your neutral GR called Mitra. Yes, this one.
The gamble god wants to gamble, okay?
It's funny as shit. Okay, I found like there's a total of like 12 ways to bring her back from the graveyard. Okay, there are ways that there are things that I would do that I cannot tell people. Okay,
The secrets are hidden.
yeah, but this will be my commander because she is my soul spirit. She is me.
赌神 the god of gambling.
I
要不然
am
文
her
选
and she is me.
I don't know.
I mean sorry
don't know.
rhythms.
You
I
put
don't know.
you put Sentry Gate as your
Oh my god.
Wait,
I'm again.
it must be LG, right? No, it must be GR and above, right?
no. It's
Oh.
anything you want.
Yeah, anything you want.
Anything you want. You can even be a spell. It can even be a spell.
Honestly, at this point of time, it's gonna be Devo anomaly, bro. I just put there, and then everybody just will be like, "Oh my god, I need to keep. It's 10 PP. I need to keep 4 PP out. I need to keep 2 PP out. Oh my god. Then I just Armor of the Stars.
Hey, speaking of Devo anomaly, it was played in which set for us?
Set 4.
Who was playing it?
No one.
No, someone was. I remember in CS we were laughing our ass off because Devo anomaly actually won.
Okay. The reason Deep Blue Anomaly was played is because I told one of the elf players you should play one off of this card with one evolve. You know why? Because the meta, no one can destroy this card.
Which is true.
Yeah.
Last time don't have this thing called Viridia Magna, so
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
actually not a lot of and you know what's the best thing when you fight against like Rune, because Rune has this weakness early on where they don't have pure destruction cards. They
Yeah.
only have the only way for them to destroy cards is to deal in numbers like 2 damage, 4 damage, 5 damage. And the only way they can clear Demo Anomaly Evolve is if they use 2 Witch Bolts. And at that point of time, they only pack like 1 or 2, and you can't expect them to have both at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So I told him, you just bring Demo Anomaly, and then all the room players will just cry. You just put it down, and then they will be like, shit, how do I clear this thing? And then
the thing is, if you expect it, you can clear.
Yeah, the best thing is no one thinks about this card.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what happened. But he almost won, but the Rune guy had 2 Witch Bolts in hand, so you know.
Oh well.
Oh well.
Oh well. There's nothing
I
much you
guess-
can do.
But he still lost anyway because he didn't have any more cards to go against him.
I think I will play. I was thinking of playing just Emblem Rave, just play Crimson, right? But there's not enough cards, I think, currently for a full Crimson deck, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, not a lot of ways to do it. I mean, you could play Zoe. Zoe is a BP4 card, gold, Haven card that helps with the Crimson game plan.
Yeah. You can play Dark Jan also. What?
You go to the front. It's a Haven card.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, Zoe. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, Zoe, that one. Yeah.
But the thing is, Zoe costs 4 mana.
No, it doesn't really matter, honestly. I think it's still a pretty good card.
Or
Like
not, can
this format.
just play
Zodiac Demon.
Spartacus? Spartacus also another.
But the problem with Spartacus is you're telling all of your opponent what your win condition is.
Yeah. Why you not play this card? I thought you love gambling so much you will play this card.
Yeah, I would play it,
Sherrod.
but Mitra is more funny. Like Mitra is Mitra is a card that doesn't win on her own.
Yeah, you need to
why-
understand. You need to understand that he will still play this card in his deck.
Yeah, I will still play the card in this.
And then he'll play like three Royal Searchers just to find him.
Problem is Oluwan is a card in the Evolve deck. Which means I have no way to recur it unless I find cards to recur. Which is like Biofabrication. There's also the neutral card, I forgot the name. There's a few other neutral cards that can flip back.
Aegis Angel. Flip
remember.
your EX. Flip your EX, then gain.
Flip your whole EX, then you gain
Yeah.
PP equal to the amount you flip. Yeah. But the thing is, firstly you need to find the way to recur your Evolve deck. Secondly, you have to find the way to recur him from the graveyard. Recurring him from the graveyard is actually not that hard because it's 3 costs. And there's a lot of ways to pull out 3 costs in the game right now. Yeah.
And I think that's all from us. I think we have been here for quite a while. And okay, before we go, you guys got anything else to add?
No,
You
nothing
guys would
much.
like to add?
I think
Nothing
it has
much.
been a good session. Yeah.
We go all the way to the end. We go all the way to the end. Go to the end. Go to the end.
Yeah.
Okay, where is it? Where is it? Oh my god, look at that glorious Uluwan chariot.
Woo!
Baby. Insane.
Okay, guys. So that's about it. So, thank you, Rhythmz and Muroqis for coming to this podcast. Yeah, I do not know if we will have another podcast or not. We see how this goes. So if you guys like this podcast, let us know. And I don't have a name for this podcast. So you guys got
if it ever happens, we will definitely be able to come up with something super fun.
what name do you want it?
It's okay if there is demand for it. Then we will think about it when we get there.
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully you guys comment below what do you think about this podcast and if you guys like more. And with that said, thank you Muroqis and Rhythmz again. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.